A bird lighter than the buffalo's horn walks across its face, and the giant allows every deliberate step without resisting at all. Beneath the feathers lies a hidden battlefield, ticks, biting flies, and skin parasites gathering where the buffalo cannot reach on its own. But are Africa's giants truly dependent on this tiny rider, or is the partnership far more complicated than it appears? As first light spreads across the savanna, the landscape seems empty, but millions of tiny feeders are already waiting in the grass. Buffalo enter the morning like moving islands, each carrying warmth, shelter, and a living community hidden across its skin. From a distant acacia, a red-billed oxpecker launches toward the herd, reading these enormous bodies as both transport and feeding ground. The oxpecker approaches, its landing precise and deliberate. The buffalo remains still, accepting the bird.
Its curved claws close around coarse hair, giving the oxpecker a grip strong enough to ride an animal thousands of times heavier.
A stiff tail presses against the hide like a brace, helping the bird climb steep shoulders without slipping into the grass below. The buffalo's skin twitches at every irritation, yet the oxpecker adjusts instantly, turning each muscular ripple into another balanced step. Walking sideways across the spine, the bird keeps its body low while the host moves steadily toward fresh grazing beyond the ridge. Now the search begins. With a scissoring movement, the oxpecker sweeps its bill sideways through hair and skin folds with remarkable control. A tiny shape interrupts the dark hide. The bird freezes, tilts one eye downward, and judges the exact point of attack. The reward disappears in an instant. For the oxpecker, every parasite is food, and every square centimeter may hide another meal. It climbs toward the horn boss, exploring creases where the buffalo's own tongue, teeth, and tail can never reach with any precision. Around the ear, biting flies gather quickly. The buffalo flicks and shakes, but the bird keeps searching between each sudden movement. Parasites are more than an annoyance. Heavy infestations can drain energy, irritate skin, and distract a grazing animal throughout the day. In protected folds, ticks attach where rubbing and tail swishes offer little relief, creating concentrated feeding sites for the oxpecker. The bird approaches methodically, not as a healer following instructions, but as a predator discovering.
Tick by tick, the oxpecker converts the buffalo's burden into breakfast, reducing some parasites while satisfying its own immediate hunger.
Its menu extends beyond adult ticks. Loose skin, larvae, and insects hidden beneath the coat can also be investigated and eaten. The relationship is complex, but the bird offers invaluable protection against irritations. A quick snack provides immediate relief. The buffalo can scratch against trees and roll in mud, but broad areas of its back remain difficult to groom directly. Here, the bird's size becomes an advantage. It reaches narrow folds and protected surfaces that the giant cannot inspect for itself. When the touch remains tolerable, the buffalo often continues feeding or resting, allowing the bird to search without immediate resistance. More oxpeckers arrive, but space matters. Each bird searches a separate patch, avoiding unnecessary conflict on the same enormous host. When both discover a productive fold, a brief dispute breaks out, revealing that cooperation with the host does not eliminate competition.
The feeding station never stays still. As the buffalo walks, the birds must balance, search, and reposition without losing their place.
This is not medicine in the human sense. It is an ecological bargain built from appetite, tolerance, and repeated opportunity. Yet every bargain has limits. What benefits the host in one moment may become irritating or even costly in another. Beyond the buffalo herd, another giant carries the same invisible problem. A white rhinoceros grazes beneath the rising heat of midday. The oxpecker lands on folded skin, where deep creases create sheltered places for ticks and other small invertebrates seeking protection.
The rhinoceros keeps grazing as the bird climbs higher, apparently accepting a passenger that can reach difficult parts of its body.
But feeding is not the bird's only possible value. From the rhino's back, it sees movement across a much wider horizon.
Keep still!
There's something coming.
Watch the thorn line.
In acacia woodland, the oxpecker's next host towers above every shrub, carrying inaccessible skin nearly 6 meters into the air. The bird settles below the patterned neck, its small claws finding purchase between short hairs and warm. The oxpecker climbs toward the ear and mane, reaching places the giraffe can rub only awkwardly against branches or another animal. From this height, the oxpecker becomes a lookout on a lookout, scanning woodland while its host continues browsing below among thorny branches. The river, a hippopotamus exposes only part of its massive body, offering a temporary platform between long periods underwater. An oxpecker searches the dry upper back, investigating folds and skin surfaces while remaining ready for the next sudden submergence.
As the hippopotamus sinks, the bird launches instantly. This partnership must adapt to water, movement.
Across Africa, the same specialist moves between different hosts, adjusting its balance and search pattern to each body's shape and daily rhythm. Answers. Buffalo, rhinoceros, giraffe, and hippopotamus differ enormously, yet all can provide food, height.
Different giants, one persistent bird. The partnership survives because the oxpecker is flexible, mobile, and always searching for another opportunity.
The relationship looks generous from a distance, but nature rarely divides its partnerships neatly into heroes, villains, and grateful patients. Oxpeckers may investigate healing abrasions and moist skin, attracted not by compassion, but by nutrients concentrated at the surface of the body.
They can consume wound fluids and blood, and repeated attention may irritate tissue that the host would otherwise leave undisturbed.
Seconds later, it returns to intact hide, where parasite hunting offers food without provoking the same immediate response from the buffalo.
This is why scientists describe the association along a spectrum, shifting between mutual benefit and exploitation according to changing circumstances each day.
When ticks are removed, the host may gain relief, while the bird receives a reliable meal from a protected feeding site. When the bird worries a healing patch, the balance may tilt, and the same beak becomes more irritating than helpful. A tail swat draws another boundary. The host is not passive. It continually decides how much contact it will tolerate. The oxpecker responds by choosing a calmer patch, adapting its behaviors to the moods and movements of the giant beneath it. Mud offers the buffalo another defense, smothering insects and coating exposed skin, while temporarily closing the bird's feeding ground completely. The bird waits nearby. It cannot control the host, and the partnership continues only when both animals' needs overlap again. Once the mud dries, cleaning resumes. The relationship endures not because it is perfect, but because benefits often outweigh conflicts. Helper or exploiter? The most accurate answer may be both, with every encounter renegotiated across the host's enormous living landscape. As afternoon cools, the oxpecker leaves its giant host and returns to another essential part of its life, the nest. Oxpeckers nest inside natural tree holes, hidden from open sunlight and sheltered behind rough walls of old wood during the breeding season. Even nest building can reconnect bird and mammal. Loose hair gathered from a host becomes soft material for the cavity. Inside, the material is pressed into place, creating a protected chamber far removed from the constant movement of the herd below. Nestlings wait in the darkness, dependent on adults that must repeatedly leave safety and return to the bodies of enormous mammals. Day by day, down gives way to feathers, while developing wings practice the movements needed for a life spent among giants. To feed the brood, the adult returns again and again, using buffalo skin as a dependable hunting ground rather than a permanent home. Wind rises across the plain, but the bird's claws and tail hold firm while dust races around the moving herd. By evening, host and rider travel together toward water, their separate lives briefly joined by hunger, irritation. The buffalo does not owe its survival to one bird, yet effective cleaning can reduce irritation and make each day easier. Across the fading horizon, tiny silhouettes ride the largest bodies, revealing how scale equals. Africa's giants do not simply depend on the oxpecker. They negotiate with it, and that uneasy alliance endures another day.